Welcome everybody to the VOD review of the developer commentary. This was produced on twitch.tv/Gears of War. It is their developer commentary on October the 17th. I'm going to pause the questions, I'll play their answer, and I'll give my own take on it. The reason I'm doing this is I know they responded to the video we made. Recently I made a video about how Gears of War has changed in skill. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's on the channel called Gears of War and the Skill Gap. That way, once you've seen that, you'll understand where I'm coming from. So without further ado, we'll get into the video. The hat's gone on. One take, everyone knows the rules. I don't have all the data this company has. I don't have a degree in game design. I don't have any experience in the game industry, but what I do have is game experience from playing a huge variety of games, and I've played since 2006. I just like to give my spin on it and my take and maybe see which direction the team is going, and also show you the questions, because not everyone has an hour to sit through. However, this might be longer than an hour. If your attention span is short, do what I do, grab yourself 2 coffees, because we're going in. Alright, here we go. This is my question coming up.
Are the maps designed to encourage Lancer gameplay?
Right. Are the maps designed to encourage Lancer gameplay? Out of all of the questions so far about skins, bugs, I wanted the developers to talk a little bit about their design philosophy so I could understand why the game is the way it is today. So next time you're in the developer stream, try and ask a few more sort of theory-based questions, because that allows you to get inside the mind of the developer, and then you don't really need to ask a load of other questions, because once you understand their viewpoint, you can kind of glean a lot of information from that. So I wanted to know, let's find out.
No, actually.
I don't think so.
I think...
No, actually. Was Gears 5 intended to encourage Lancer gameplay? No, actually.
All the playtests for the maps, no.
Yeah.
They're meant to have a variety of gameplay, so...
Right, but then in the same breath, they're meant to have a variety of gameplay. Does that not mean that some areas are encouraging Lancer gameplay? If a map is not encouraging one particular style, then certain areas wouldn't be encouraging certain new varieties, correct? That is a clear, and I would say obvious, issue that they're saying that the maps aren't designed for Lancer gameplay, but they're also saying that areas of maps are designed to increase variety.
What we're looking to do is have areas where, and it depends on the map too, but on some maps it's like, certain areas will be stronger for certain things.
So on certain maps, certain areas will be stronger for certain things. Does that not sound like that is encouraging a certain playstyle? And what I mean by that is, that's okay, but that means you're using the map as a tool to force certain playstyles, correct? That's the way I read it.
But the Nasher is still the core of everything. Even in Gears 5, it's still the majority of what everyone's killing with by a long shot. But in playtesting, that's all what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're not
Right, so let me get this straight. Even on Gears 5, right, maybe I'm nitpicking here, but the use of the word even, right, that to me also inherently has a value that says, even on Gears 5, aka even on this Lancer-based game, the Nasher is still the core gameplay. It just seems odd when I say, are the maps designed to encourage Lancer gameplay? And the response is, no, only certain areas are strong to increase a certain variety. And that to me means even on Gears 5, the game that we've tried to make more Lancery, the Nasher is still the strongest, most used gun. Fundamentally, I feel like they're missing the point of why the Nasher is the most used gun in the game. I feel like the Nasher is the most used gun in the game because veteran players and fans of the franchise sign into Gears of War to play shotgun, QCB, close quarters combat gameplay. If I want a rifle and shoot pixels in the distance, like Lee Perry said in Gears 1, I'm going to play a game that does it better. I'm going to play Insurgency. I'm going to play Call of Duty. I'm going to play Battlefield. I'm going to play the CSGO. I'm going to play a game that is better at rifle gameplay. If I sign into Gears of War multiplayer, I'm playing that because I want to play close quarters combat. So for me, unless the Lancer got so absolutely ridiculous that it's, three-shotting people like an M16, as long as if there is some opportunity for a shotgun to get a kill, let's say they narrow the range of the shotgun, like the down range a lot, and then they shrink the gib range to just be point blank, people will still be using the shotgun because they love the shotgun. There are certain stats and statistics that can be brought into a game to prove and disprove certain things. Oh, well, the shotgun gets more kills than the Lancer isn't strong. But they're forgetting why that is, that stats can't tell you. Feeling. You want to use the shotgun, and that you can't get away from that feeling. A statistic can't tell you that. A piece of data can't tell you that. That you can make the shotgun weaker, the rifle's stronger, whatever. Add every single weapon is a boom shot pickup. People will still try to use the shotgun because it's what they want to experience. They sign in and they want to experience that close quarters gameplay. And I feel like they're just missing the point of the question, and their answer shows kind of their design philosophy. Oh, well, we didn't design the maps to encourage Lancer play. Well, that's worrying, because if you didn't design the maps to encourage Lancer play, you don't know how to design maps, I'm sorry, but these maps encourage Lancer play. Bunker, right? You can't say Bunker doesn't encourage Lancer play. There are these huge wide open maps, these long corridors, long vision sights. This encourages Lancer play. So either you're lying or your map designers don't play the game enough and realize that when you put blocks in certain positions, that's going to encourage Lancer play. So for me, that's a really worrying answer.
Lancer-centric maps.
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at like Icebound, like that center ring in Icebound is obviously a heavy.
Yeah,
I mean,
there we go. There's someone. He's explained it. Well, he says, well, what about Icebound in that large center ring? You can't tell me that large center ring of Icebound encourages shotgun play or even promotes it, or even just leaves it an even playing field and lets it naturally play out. It stops Nasher play because you can shoot the floor, and there's huge blocks above it that let you rifle down, and that's a huge area of the map. If you think about that whole center area, you have the house that can also cover the boomstick, and it can spray across that whole area. None of that is shotgun gameplay. That is promoting Lancer play.
The Lancer tuning also changed a bunch of times during dev, like at various points, and so the maps are actually built where the Lancer was in different places, where it was weaker, where it was stronger. The maps kind of are built around as we kind of tune, but like they're not built to a final tuning, right? Because the final tuning we can keep doing even after the game has kind of like gone to disk, and
so makes sense. What they're saying is the maps were designed before the final balance was in place. So when you can't have the final balance and we don't know the exact values, we have to go to the bigger picture. We have to look at how the game plays out, play by play. How does the game play? What is our pattern of play? If you want to use a football term, your pattern of play is something like, even if you're not scoring a goal, or let's say in basketball, you're not scoring a basket, even if you're not doing that, what is your typical pattern of play? What is your ideal route to goal? What fundamentally is your philosophy in the game? So for me, if I was designing a map, I remember in the back of my mind, right, the core philosophy of Gears of War has always been a tactical element squashed down to create flanking routes, close quarters gameplay, and really try to get away from ranged gameplay. That's what makes our game unique. That's what makes our game sellable, marketable. It's not Call of Duty. It's not Battlefield. This is different. This is in-your-face, gritty action. That's how I'd market this game. So if I know that is our company and our team and our game's core philosophy, I think, right, we're trying to not encourage Lancer gameplay. So what do I not want to do? I don't want to do a big open area with defensive cover above it, because that is going to encourage rifling. Because you're not going to get up top and shoot a shotgun from there. You're going to rifle, aren't you? You don't need to know the final tuning of a gun to help it mimic your pattern of play and your core philosophy. I know I've gone on about this question a lot, but that's key, that they're saying that the reason the maps are the way they are is because, well, we didn't have the final balance, so, we can always tweak the balance. You can tweak the balance, you're right, but The maps are the fundamental thing. If your maps are bad, 9 times out of 10 your game's bad.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
But I hope that explains it.
I don't know. It's like he's kind of laughing at the question. I think he laughs 3 or 4 times in that clip. And it's like, it's not a laughable question. Was the gameplay designed with the Lancer in mind? He's like, no, we didn't do that. No, that's not how we tested it. No, we didn't have the final tuning. Like, no. Ironically, as we're talking about this clip, I've only just noticed he's Lancering down. Interestingly as well, he does touch on this in future comments. And I'm paraphrasing, even in Gears 4, there was so much Lancering went on. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's because Gears 4 was also designed to be a Lancering map. They might have ended up tweaking the tuning on pro settings, I'm not sure. I never got to play it. The Lancer in the shotgun was a little bit better. But here's how you stop Lancering. I'm designing this. I'm immediately going in and I'm doing this. I'm going, all right, I've had enough of this. I'm taking foundation. This here, this is a wall. If you want to go in and you want to go and fight on foundation, you push in this way, you push in this way, you push in this way. That gives you 3 entries. You can maybe hoik a grenade over the top of this. You could maybe drop shot over the top of it. That's an interesting idea. You could flash over the wall. But this here, how does this not promote Lancer play? How does Bunker not promote Lancer play?
Oh, hi. I was the...
All right, here is my next question being answered. I'll probably stick this at the front of the video as this is what people have probably wanted. This is their response to the recent video I made, and thank you all for the feedback. So this is the developer's response. So I tried to be... I posted my question just once, and for some reason it did get picked out, which was probably lucky because I just signed into the stream and posted it and it got picked out. So I was quite lucky, but here is their response. So we'll play it in full and then I'll give my feedback.
Hi, I was the guy that made the Gears that reduce the skill gap video. I was wondering if there's been discussed a lot, people ranging the pros to commentators. Okay, if there has been discussed, I'm going to say, if there has been discussion, as a lot of people, ranging from pros to commentators to veterans have been talking about it. Thanks. I have watched the video. I think you've watched the video as well. Yeah. I think, obviously, you're a huge fan, so thank you. You clearly think Gears 1, I'm going to say /UE, was the peak Gears. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's my understanding based on watching that video.
I mean, yeah, very.
Like, no, but it was skewed. You went through. I mean, I thought it was. I thought how you broke down with the data at the beginning, with the timing of running and speeds and animation cycles. I thought that was great.
It's a well-made video.
It was. It was like that was really, really compelling. So, and I think with that, it's hard because I don't think there was a. I'm going to challenge you a little bit on your video, if only because it was. From my perspective, it seemed like it was very biased to the Gears 1 content. And then if you look at the evolution of Gears between Gears 2 to Gears 3 to Judgment to 4 to 5, that there is a line of design inside of that some people have moved one way or the other. Across a variety of reasons, and so I'm not going to go and deconstruct line by line, but that was my one piece of feedback that I saw inside of that I think it was a cool video and I liked a lot of it, and I don't disagree. I mean, the one thing I would argue is like center screen aiming was actually probably the lowest skill version of aiming inside of Gears because you just had to aim to the center. It was a lot easier to hit your shots. So that would be something that I would argue from my perspective. You may disagree, but that would be my perspective on a difference between how Gears 1 was a lot easier than Gears, than all subsequent Gears of Wars. But that's something that's like, so that would be my one sense there. But I did watch the video, and I do feel that that you're there. Now, if you want to talk about like. And I don't think, the one thing that I want to be careful, because everyone's like, but you put like aim assist in your game. I don't think one point negates the other point. I'm just saying if you look at the continuum, there is aim assist in Gears 3. Like aim assist has been something that has been part of Gears for a subsequent time. So I think, we need to recognize that. Now, do we want to have the conversation about aim assist in Gears 5? Happy to have that conversation with you guys. Just, just wanted to kind of throw out that. So, did watch your video. Thank you. Gears 1 was easier than all future Gears. Did I get that part right? Are you trying to quote me, or are you trying to make that as a comment yourself? I would just say, me personally thinking, from an aim mechanic, center screen aiming is a lot easier to aim than the model that we have, than the camera-based model that is designed in subsequent Gears. That was my one comment around that, what I wanted to say. Cool.
Pretty long answer, which is nice. He obviously respected the fact I took a lot of time to make the video. He said it was a good video. He said I was clearly a big fan, and he thanked me for that. And then he sort of chatted about the video. Now, at the original time of listening to that, I was pretty fuming. I've literally taken a whole day and I've waited to respond to this. And I guess I'll get your feedback as well, because it's not all just about me. The community really chirped in and chipped in with that video, and that's very grateful. So what we got was, we got a response that basically said, great video, enjoyed it. You're clearly thinking Gears 1 was the peak of Gears. He liked the numbers on the screen, and his one point he took from that was that Gears of War 1 had the easiest aiming because of center screen aiming. That was, he said, that was his one takeaway from the video. I understand he can't respond to every single thing, but I think if that's the one thing he took away from the video, I feel like he's completely misunderstood the video. He said that what I didn't include in the video was a progression and a timeline of how decisions have been made and have led up to this point, and some people have accepted these decisions, and sometimes these decisions have become normal. Yeah, he's right. The reason I didn't do that was because the video would have been forever long. I think the video did try to prove the point that over time, small nuances from the franchise have gone and have just become accepted as the norm. Shotgun battles have become long-range downs. Lancer gameplay has become more popular and easier to pull off. Small nuances like the torque bow has gone, and a whole other range of things. The flashbang is now like a stun, so if you're pushing somebody you can stun them, and that really makes it an easy target to kill. There was a whole lot in that video, and the only piece of feedback he said was Gears 1 was easier because of center screen aiming. And I'm actually just like, I really was going to like give a crazy detailed explanation to why that's wrong, but I just feel like the look, I'm not expecting me to make a video and the whole dev team to go round of applause, this guy's the greatest ever, woohoo, let's change the whole franchise. No, he's right. There's been a whole host of decisions that have led us to this point, and it's been accepted. But that was the point of the video. The point of the video was, over time and patch, slowly but surely, the game has become fundamentally easier. And if that wasn't portrayed in the video, I don't know. Yeah, center screen aiming might have been ever so slightly easier because in one instance you could peek out of a wall and shoot. But if everybody else has got center screen aiming, everybody else is aiming from the center of their screen, and everyone else has different opportunities. Center screen aiming brings up a whole variety of shots that are not possible through barrel shooting. Also, barrel shooting has this issue where you can line up the barrel. In fact, I'll show you because it's important. So to give you an example of what I'm talking about, with barrel shooting, what happens is the camera and the barrel are often different positions, and this creates an issue where effectively the barrel can look to be missing but the camera is pointed on the player, and also the barrel can be on the character but because the camera isn't fully on the character it can miss. What this video goes on to show is that what will happen is a shot that looks like it should miss, like this here, this gun looks like it's missing this character, will actually hit this person because there is aim assist that then snaps it to the person. as you can see it there, it just snapped to the person. So there can be an issue that the camera is different to the barrel. You see as it moves left to right, the telemetry of the barrel and the gun change. Now you can see it's matched up with the barrel, but as we extend, now it's slightly missing. And sometimes that can cause problems, that a shot that we think should miss hits, and a shot that we think should miss hits. Now with center screen aiming, it's always coming from the center, which means it's way more consistent and it doesn't need that aim assist to snap it. And we all know aim assist is not a good thing. Yes, center screen aiming is very, very weird for a third person shooting game. It's primarily used in first person shooters. And yeah, you can backpack people, which again is actually an art. If you run away from somebody and turn your camera up to the sky and shoot, technically, theoretically, physically, yeah, that shouldn't work. But this is a video game and all these little things add nuance. This is like saying Counter-Strike is a simple game because it has very simple shooting mechanics. Or saying that the bunny hop was never intended. You know, physically, a character, when it jumps, it shouldn't keep generating momentum. But these were kept in the game for a long, long time because they added skill. Yeah, when somebody first came in and they saw somebody bunny hopping everywhere, or backpacking with a shotgun, or fast peeking out of a wall, or being able to kill somebody that's got right-hand advantage because of center screen aiming, allowing you to back A, and the barrel not hit the piece of cover and it actually gets the shot off. There are a whole more opportunities that arise through center screen aiming. Whole thing where the bullet should come from the barrel because then the player can see the barrel and dodge around the barrel, and that's more skilled. But there is also a whole point of you can actually turn your camera in such a way in Gears 4, 5 and other barrel shooting games that you can be completely not looking at the character but quickly flick your barrel to that person and shoot and then carry on running, that your character does a sort of reaction shot where you shoot, not look, and it looks very, very odd. So for even barrel shooting, there are situations where it's very, very odd. And it's just mind-blowing to me, honestly, that out of a 20-minute video, the only thing that they really took away from that video was, well, Gears 1 was easier in many, many ways because of center screen aiming was the easiest of all the franchises. And they never really spoke about... They spoke about aim assist, yeah, should it or should it not be in the game. But actually in this video itself, they speak about the fact that because of this sort of should it hit, should it not hit issue, like there it looked like it should hit but he sponged, there has to be a snap, and there are even pros saying there has to be a snap because otherwise it just feels completely weird that the barrel is there and it misses. Right, so there's always this issue of like consistency, but I feel like with the center screen aiming, it was a very odd mechanic, but it was very, very consistent. And once you'd got used to it and you'd got over the nuance, yeah, and you'd got used to it, it was I'm going to say more skilled because I think that's what it was. It was more skilled. There was way more opportunities with center screen aiming, but let's be fair. Let's say it's just as skilled as barrel shooting. And to be honest, center screen aiming wasn't even anything I spoke about in that video because I didn't really want to go down that route. I wanted to talk about wall cancelling, rolling, animation delays, the shotgun being more potent at long range, the less gradual fall off that changes shotgun fights, the map design, the melee, and all these things. I feel like he just sort of went, yeah, cool video, I did enjoy it, you're obviously a fan, but you're obviously a Gears 1 fanboy, and Gears 1 had broken center screen aim in it, and in many ways it was much, much easier. And I just feel like that mixed with the Lancer gameplay answer that we've just heard just goes to show that I don't think anything will change, to be honest. The team obviously believe in this barrel-centric, rifle-centric gameplay, and that they don't see any problem with the fall-off damage or the less gradual fall-off damage. And they don't really see a problem with aim assist. They keep touching on it, but they keep talking about toggles, and we'll talk about it. You would think that one of them would have a strong opinion of, yeah, I actually really don't like aim assist in a competitive game. And I think, again, one of the reasons aim assist has to be in is because of the difference from the camera and the barrel. trying not to get too infuriated, because there's nothing really to be infuriated about. I don't know what I expected, but maybe I expected them to talk about the delays. Maybe I expected them to talk about the no fall-off damage from the rifle or something. But it just feels like they kind of brushed over the video. They kind of went, this guy's a bit of a Gears 1 fanboy. He obviously thinks Gears 1's the peak. And sort of, we've moved on. The game's moved on. There's been a line of progression and we've moved on and people have accepted that. And that was my point, that there's been this line of slow progression and time after time, percent has been changed. And it's built up this much, much larger picture, and a much bigger percent, once you've totaled up all the small changes, has fundamentally changed the makeup of the game. I might be completely wrong. This might be the most popular Gears ever. But you could also argue it's been massively marketed and it's on a Game Pass. I'd be interested to see what this game looks like in 6 months. I guess I'm just really disappointed, because there was so much joy and so much feedback from the community that I thought we might get maybe an answer of some of the mechanics. And even if he'd have said, bro, you're wrong, this is why we want long range shotguns, this is why we want animation roll delays or animation shooting delays. Even if he'd have come out and said that, I'd have been like, well, at least I've got an answer. But to just come out and say, yeah, there are, I guess, some parts of Gears 1 that were slightly harder, but it really did have the easiest shooting of all. But you can't pin it to one singular thing. You can't just say Gears 1 has easier shooting because of center screen aiming. There's so many things that factor into it. The map design, the strafe design, the less stopping power, character movement speed. You've got also other things factoring into it. The fact you have to lead bullets. The fact that there's a different rate of fire on the shotgun. The shotgun has a different amount of shells. The Lancer has a different rate of fire. The rifles are stronger in Gears 1, but as I demonstrated, they're not stronger. There's just a whole host of things that I just feel were completely brushed over. And I don't really know what to say. I was going to sit down here and really, really chat about some things, but I don't really know what to say off that. If that's all they can take away from that video, then I don't really know what else I could have done. I could have, again, maybe spoke about the progression of the series and how it's changed, but I feel like I touched on that. It was just disappointing to hear that I think his name's Octus. Octus just said absolutely nothing, and the other guy kind of just went, yeah, like, it's got center screen aiming, bro, like, it's pretty easy. If the bullet going to your gun makes everything so easy, then why does Counter-Strike have skill if the bullet goes to the center of the screen? You can't just pin it on where the bullet goes if there's skill or not. So that's the answer, I guess. That's the answer we got. There, the very next question was about, should the Silverback return to Horde and Octus? And those were very positive. Yeah, I love the Silverback. Yeah, it could come back. I got more response out of Octus on a Silverback than I did about that. 5 hours. So if you enjoyed my little comments and my feedback and my viewpoint on it, please give it a like and a subscribe. If you want to go one step further, there are ways to support through Twitch Prime. You can just directly donate in the link in the description. The reason I asked this is because Machinima screwed me over all my money. AdSense doesn't work for me. This is just a passion thing. So if you want to support it and you like it and you want to go a step further and buy me a coffee, that's appreciated. Obviously, it's not expected and it's not at all forced upon you. I'm not TC. My system's fine. I will continue to do it. If you want to go a step further and support, you can do. I'm not going to lock the videos behind a grind system. Don't worry. You're not going to have to reach Rank Guardian to find my next video. But yeah, there's ways to support me. Links in the description. I don't know if this video was interesting or not. If it is interesting, I could do another one. If it was super bloody boring, then just tell me, bro, don't do this.